Imagine this. A mother and daughter are out shopping, and the daughter is getting bored out of her mind because she's watching her mother buy all these grown-up things, and she wants to buy something for herself, and she keeps getting turned down. She wants to buy candy and toys and games. So finally, when they leave, they go outside and they see another shop, and the girl's eyes light up. And what does she see? A pet shop. And in the window, they have golden retriever puppies. So they go into the store and they fall in love with this dog. So they purchase this dog and they go home and they have a brand new puppy. Well, I'm going to tell you why you don't want to buy this puppy in a window. And the reason is because this puppy or their parents most likely came from a puppy mill. And a puppy mill is known for their inhumane conditions and constant breeding of unhealthy, genetically defective dogs. There are 35 pet stores in the United States that sell puppies, and they sell 500,000 dogs a year. There are 7 states that are known as puppy mill states because they are the majority of the puppy mills are there in the country. These states are Missouri, Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Pennsylvania. Puppy mills are known for treating dogs just for profit. They are not treated as pets or as animals. They are treated just as property. Most of these dogs that live in puppy mills have matted fur. Their teeth are all rotted. They have eye ulcers, and sometimes their teeth are so bad where their jaw is rotted also. The owners of these mills spend very little money on their vet care, on their food, and on their shelter. They get very little vet care to sometimes no vet care. They're going to try to spend as little as possible to make a profit. These dogs don't get their shots, they don't get checkups. When they're sick, they don't get taken to the vet. These people don't care about these animals. Most likely they put 3 to 4 dogs in one cage, and these are very small cages. These are not big. These cages are small enough where the dogs can't even turn around. Most of the time that the dogs fight in these cages, and they're so small that the dogs can't get away. So the only thing they can do is just cower in the corner. A lot of them come, if they get rescued, they've got like missing ears, or they got punctured eyes, and they've got wounds. Their food that they give them is non-nutritional at all, is the basic minimum. They don't get their daily nutrients that they're supposed to get from this food. The cages that they have them living in are either wire cages or wood cages. They are kept in these cages all their lives. They are not let out of these cages at all. They're not played with. They're not allowed to touch soft grass. They're not petted. They're not loved. Nothing. These dogs spend their whole entire lives in these cages. A lot of times, their foot, their paws, or their legs will get stuck in the cage, through the wires, and from them struggling to get out, a lot of them lose their paws or their legs, and they get ripped off because they're panicking and they're struggling to get their legs free, and the wires just cutting away at their legs, and most likely they end up losing it, unfortunately. They are exposed to the elements. In the winter time, they are exposed to the bitter cold. There is no heat, so whatever temperature is outside, these dogs are living outside with no heat, no nothing. In the summertime, they are exposed to the extreme heat. A lot of times they die of heat stroke. These dogs basically cook in these cages because the heat, the sun heats up the wires, and basically they're sitting on hot wires. So it's basically they get burns from these cages. These dogs are constantly in filth. They're sitting in their own feces. They're never cleaned. They're stacked on top of each other, so when the top dog, in the cages goes to the bathroom, it all falls down onto the bottom one. These dogs are debarked, and what that means is they take, like, most likely a metal rod, and they shove it down their throats, and they puncture their vocal cords so these dogs can't bark. It is very cruel. They are bred from their first heat, and they are constantly bred every heat cycle, which is about 4 to 5 times a year, which is very unsafe for a dog. They're not supposed to breed that many times a year. Most When they're done breeding them, which is about 5 years old, they kill these dogs. Either they shoot them, they bludgeon them to death, they hit them in the heads with rocks, or they just hit them over the head, or they dump them and they leave them. The puppies are taken away from their mothers at a very young age. They're taken away so young that they're not even able to get weaned yet, and a lot of times that from not being weaned from the mother, they don't know how to eat, and a lot of them starve to death because they're taken away way too young. They sell them between 5 and 8 weeks. They go when they ship them. The shipping is not any better. They're put into container or to cages with very little ventilation. They get no food, no water. They don't stop to let them go out to go to the bathroom. It's basically the same as in the mills, is the same how they're being shipped. Well, a lot of the puppies don't make it. If they happen to do make it and they get sold and they go to the pet stores, and if they don't get sold, the puppies are either killed, they're either brought back to the mills to be bred, or they are sold to laboratories and to be tested on. Yeah, the puppies, they also, from being locked up constantly, they end up having temperament problems, and a lot of times they get genetic problems because of the overbreeding, and because of the inbreeding they get a lot of genetic problems like hip dysplasia. They get that a lot too, and a lot of them, they don't know what it's like to be loved, so they don't know how to interact with humans or with other dogs. I just wanted to say just to be careful when buying puppies and to consider adoption, because there are so many dogs out there that are just waiting to be rescued, and it's a much better alternative to going to a pet shop, because honestly you don't know where these puppies are coming from. They could be a reputable breeder, but they also most likely are coming from a puppy mill. Just do your research and just to find out the background of where this dog is coming from. We can end this animal abuse from buying pets from animal shelters, and spreading the word about these horrible puppy mills, and hopefully once the popularity of this stops and people stop buying from pet shops and adopt more, then hopefully this will put an end to this horrible abuse. Back to the story that I started off with, the mother ended up returning this lovely dog after a couple months of having it, because the dog ended up getting too big and she couldn't take care of it, so she brought it back to the local vet, and the vet took it in, and after sitting there for weeks and weeks, nobody was adopting it. And then everybody was coming in and they were all looking for puppies, and everybody wanted a puppy. Nobody wanted a big dog. So finally, an abandoned set of puppies came in, and they needed more room. So they brought the puppies in, and unfortunately, this poor, innocent, healthy dog had to get euthanized because they needed more room in the shelter. And this happens all the time, and it's an unfortunate event that happens to innocent animals every day. So just consider next time you go to get a dog, I hope I've convinced you to not buy from a pet store and to adopt. There are so many adoptable animals in animal shelters. Most likely, if you're looking for a specific breed, you will find it. just go to a shelter and ask them what you're looking for, and they would be able to point you into the right direction. Half the time that the animals in these animal shelters are purebreds. So you're going to get a good dog if you do your research, and a healthy dog. A lot of times these puppy mill dogs, they have a lot of health ailments, and they carry very high vet bills, and you're going to be putting a lot of money out, and you don't want to take in a sick dog, and you don't want to be putting money into these puppy mills because you're thinking you're saving one dog, when really you think you're saving that one dog, but you're still giving money to where this dog is coming from, and the cycle continues. So just please do your research. I hope I persuaded you to do your research next time you're looking for a dog, and to please adopt. Thank you for listening.